Here we go. This is the finale of Season 1, my team on F1 23, and things are about to get very interesting and are about to change. In this episode, guys, we are going to announce a potential partner slash backer who's going to help us out and join the team in Season 2. Before that, guys, the last episode, link in the top right. Spoiler warning ahead, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out, guys, and see what happened before we get into the finale here at Las Vegas. So, as you can see, we had a chassis department event, which is a follow-up from the last episode in which we increased chassis morale by 20%. We then took care of activities, which was quite easy to do. We've got quite a long gap until the next race, including a season break before the finale, so that could shake things up quite a bit before the final race in Las Vegas. But with that done, we're going to get into upgrades, and we are going to go ahead and purchase an upgrade for the Halo, which has a pretty big discount. That is a major for the rear downforce. Fingers crossed we get that on the car for the last race. And we also get confirmation that the failure of the DRS maximum slot gap has been made official, so we're going to have to go ahead and repurchase that one, which should be on the car shortly and easily before the next race. We will have at least one upgrade, depending on if the Halo 1 arrives or fails. Now we go to another event, this time marketing, and this one is going to be a bit of a tricky one because Liam Lawson has got in trouble and we have to decide whether we apologise or we ignore taking action. Both of those are going to have a negative effect. In the end, I chose to actually apologise publicly and take a bit of a hit on the team acclaim. As we now move into facilities. Now, I know you guys are going to want me to upgrade the resource point generation, but those are quite expensive and we're not making a ton of cash, and I need to keep some back because it's the last race coming up and we have to re-sign or rehire Liam Lawson for Season 2. So I can only do cheap things right now in terms of what I can afford and what the budget is going to allow me to do. So with that in mind, I'm actually going to personnel and we're going to give Liam a bit of a facelift, and we're going to improve the simulator, which is going to cost us over $1 million, and also the fitness center is going to get a revamp, I believe. Or actually, I think it's actually the pit equipment now I think about it, because we need to make sure those pit stops are on point. So we'll get those both on, and that keeps us floating around the $3 million mark as we move into that short season break. We come back a bit more cash in the pot, so we're going to go ahead and get the analysis suite, and that is going to take care of 3 of the 4, and we'll hopefully do the fitness center at some point in the near future. We get confirmation of both of the aero upgrades after the break arriving, so the car is going to have a double upgrade heading into the finale. And of course, we still have that regulation change in the background affecting the chassis and durability, which we have already covered off all the upgrades for both of those. But now we're going to move into the real big breaking news of the weekend, guys, and something that's going to change the history of this series. First off, Step 1, which isn't as important, but Nico Hülkenberg is retiring from Formula 1, and that is going to be the first step of potentially shaking up the driver transfers for Season 2. We'll see what else happens during the off-season, but that could be really interesting. But now we move into the big one, which is the financial backing update. Maserati are interested in potentially being involved with us for next season. However, they have requested we do secure that top 5 finish in the constructors. As you know, right now we're P5, Aston Martin are right behind us, and we have a margin, but we have to get some points in this last race to lock it in. If we deliver, Maserati will enter negotiations and we may be able to secure them next season as a backer slash team partner, which is absolutely massive. So with that in mind, let's talk about the weekend ahead of us, the last race in Las Vegas, and we have no rain forecast for any of the sessions. For the developments, you can see we're still bottom, and we're going to finish bottom behind everyone else. However, we do close the gap quite a bit heading into this very last race, trying to bounce back from Qatar, which was a bit of a shame. In the championship, we're pretty much, I'm going to say, luckily finished P9. I think Piastri might get the edge over us, only 2 points behind. But the constructors is what it's all about. So right now we have a 32-point gap over Aston Martin, which is very, very healthy, but can easily be lost if we're not, aware and we don't get any points. They could get a podium and it might really hurt us. So we need to be aware to hopefully get a couple of points and just keep them at arm's length and fingers crossed secure that P5 so that we can maybe enter negotiations with that Maserati, and that would really change the future of our team heading into Season 2. So with that done, we went to practice. Tyre wear a little bit high, fuel consumption very low. Pace-wise in practice, it wasn't looking too shabby. However, we are very slow in Sector 1, so I'm actually going to make a few adjustments for qualifying. So First off, the wings are very low. I'm using a setup from Sim Racing Center as always, which is really quick. But compared to the AI, they have some different traits which sometimes you need to adapt for, and also the setups aren't made for, let's say, career mode cars with a lot of upgrades, so you have to make some adjustments in mind. And Vegas is a very unique track, a very new track. So for qualifying, we're going to increase both the front and the rear wing by 1 click each, and also it's fair to do that because we're going to make up the loss of straight line speed with basically reverting back to our freshest possible components on the engine. So we're going into this weekend, guys, on a pretty good setup. We also have the freshest possible engine, and we are recharged with that possible partnership with Maserati heading into Season 2, as we are going to head into a bit of a break after this, guys. I think we're going to probably got into that F1 2009 mod career on F1 2020, do a mini My Team on there, and then come back to this one in due course. But anyway, here we go. Qualifying time, Q1, as you can see, getting into the thick of it, and we're going to start things off with what is the worst corner in Formula 1. This left-hander is giving me problems. It always has in this game. There is zero braking references, which I have no idea where to brake for, and I always either brake too late or too early, and I can never ever get it right. Either way, sector 1, very long, very technical, a lot of corners, and we're in a 44.1 on the split. We now go through the chicane, which has also of course been remapped and revamped with the latest patch. We can't cut that anymore, so we're going to lose a little bit of lap time compared to the AI as we make our way up to the line, and it's going to be a 31.4 as a banker, which is only P8 and just ahead of Ricciardo and Lawson, which is a bit of a red flag and a bit of a concern. Back in the garage, you can see where P16 just on the cutoff, but Perez and Hamilton are behind us. So we are going to have to improve, guys, and find some time and some pace. So with about 45 seconds to go as we cross the line, we are going to start our final lap with a fresh set of tyres, and we're going to hopefully look to find maybe 2-3 tenths. That should hopefully get the job done for us. So here we go. Down to turn number 1, brake at the curb on the right, down to 3rd gear, and then short shift to 4th if you need it to try and get the power down. We lose the back end a little bit, and turn 2 also very tricky. Let the car run wide. There's a slight bit of camber which will help rotate the car, and we're up by half a tenth. Into the next braking zone, turn 3, you want to brake at the curb on the left just before, so about 100 meters. 3rd gear, short shift to 4th gear to get the traction down. We have a bit of a moment though and lose our advantage as we now head into this very tricky left-hander, and just like in the last run, but even worse, we completely outbrake ourselves, and that could be a massive crucial moment in this episode already as we cost ourselves some crucial time. We do find quite a bit in the remaining part of that section as the checkered flag drops, and we're only half a tenth down as we head into the left-hander here. So we're going to try and pull that time back over the curb. The car just about holding on. We didn't really bounce over it too well. The car wasn't really liking it too much. Hamilton 30.0 setting a benchmark, and we are down by a tenth in the second sector split compared to Hulkenberg. We are currently 4 tenths down, so we are going to have to send it into the chicane, make or break at the curb. Down to 3rd, we brake way too late. We somehow keep it on the island, but the back end gets out of shape, and we drop everything on the exit, and qualifying done just like that. Disaster. Really not what I wanted, what I had in mind for this last race, and I will admit it was tough, really tough. I think if we remove the mistakes, there was about a tenth and a half in that very slow chicane at the end of sector 1, and probably another tenth in the final chicane at the end of the back straight. So a few little micro differences here and there, like turn 2 where we gained half a tenth as well. I reckon we could have just got through, but I mean only just. So the pace isn't quite there, which is a bit of a concern. However, I'm not worried for the race. I think we've got a very good race set up. We're basically very trimmed out, very low on drag, so we should be very fast on the straights, and we're just going to have to take a little bit of pain through sector 1 in the race. But if we can manage that, we're going to be okay, and the straight line speed is going to be really good. So it's going to be both of our cars on the back row of the grid, both Aston Martins into Q2 with a grid drop for Ocon. So we'll see what happens. Either way should be fun. Let's get into the last race. Let's send it. Nothing to lose, and let's lock in that Maserati partnership for Season 2.
Welcome along to Las Vegas, and Formula One might be in the middle of the Nevada desert, but who'd have thought it? It's raining out there. Now, how will that affect the drivers as they race along the strip? Well, tonight we go racing around the bright lights of Las Vegas, 3.8 miles under the Nevada night sky and thousands of neon lights. There are landmarks everywhere you look, punctuating the 17 corners and 2 DRS zones. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Russell, Norris, Hamilton, Stroll, Sainz, Bottas, Perez, Ocon, Sargent, Albon, Martinez, Gasly, Tsunoda, Joe, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Liam Lawson, Verstappen, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson also joins me in the commentary box today. The last few races have been a bit rough for them, unable to get a clean run. That's got to have some effect on their confidence, surely.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
Season 1 finale time. P14, we've actually had a pretty big gain from other penalties to other cars around us, so we're actually starting quite a way further ahead than where we qualified. Now there is some bad news. As you may have seen on the race grid rundown, both Aston Martins in the top 7. Alonso P3, Stroll P7, so it's not looking good. We're going to have to try and get some points somehow. Now, I will say, I think the setup we have on the car is going to be much better in the race because of the very high straight line speed. So I think that will be a bonus for us over the course of this race. Strategy for this one, I'm going to go a bit different. So we're going to start on the hard tyre and then move to the medium. I think it's a gamble worth taking. If I can hopefully suffer the pain of the hard tyre in the first part of the race, hopefully it should come back to us later on the medium. But no guarantees. Either way, we're going to gamble and go all out in this last race, and hopefully it works out. Fuel-wise, I'm running about 0.2 of a kg over what we had in practice sims, so that should be hopefully fine. And we're going to probably run in DRS trains, so we're going to be able to save some fuel as well. So yeah, overall, I'm low-key confident, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself, and there's still a job to be done. You know, the job's not finished, in the words of Kobe Bryant. So yeah, guys, we're going to jump into the finale here in Vegas, roll the dice, go all in, and see what happens. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, guys, to the channel, and finally, prediction down below, will we secure P5 for the constructors, yes or no? Here we go, 15 rounds in, one more race to go, Las Vegas to close it out. We have perfect tyre temp, over 97 on all 4 tyres, which is going to go a long way to help us out. Everyone seems to be on mediums in this initial phase, so we'll have to try and make do with what we've got on the hard tyre. Let's see what happens. Should be fun. Let's try and line up aggressive here, and let's send it in this finale. Not ideal. Missing the grid box there. Anyway, let's go. Revs on the money. And away we go. Oh, it's a great start. We get both Williams straight away. Into turn 1, going to lunge it on Ocon. Can we find the grip through 1 and 2? There's very little grip through these 2 corners. Ocon holds on, and we've got no grip. You can see there's Albon goes back through. Onto the first of many straights. Sargent trying to pull along the side here. We're going to get back in front and actually re-challenge Albon here on the brakes, and through we go. So P12 getting ahead of both Williams, which I think is going to be key because I think I am faster than both of them. Got some 2 wide action here between Sainz and Stroll up ahead. Trying to take some different lines to try and find some space, but nowhere to go for now. Still a good start. We'll see if we can get this tyre fired up and make it work. Again, first sector seems to be the big issue. Turns 1 and 2 is where we bleed a lot of the time. But throughout the rest of the lap, we seem to be pretty speedy. So, here we go. Onto the massive back straight on the Las Vegas strip. Albon pulls out of the toe. And you can see straight away he loses out. Looks like we've got some good straight line speed here as we've got lots of action already. 3 wide up ahead, Sainz, Stroll and Perez. Going to brake early, probably a little bit too early there, so I invite pressure from Albon, but we're going to go around the outside of Ocon and we're going to try to sneak a move here. On the exit, can we drive into this little space? Sainz is going to move across, so we have to get out of the throttle. But now we can get the power back down. Perez has used all his energy on the opener. What a first lap though, into the points, and we're not done yet. Around the outside of Sainz. You can see we have such little grip through turn 2 as we now go side by side with Carlos Sainz. We're going to get the battery on here and we're going to get in front and move into P9. What an incredible start so far on the hard tyre. Stroll, Perez, former teammates, side by side. Let's make sure we stick with them here. Sainz from absolutely miles back goes up the inside. I've got no braking reference point into that corner, even after a month of playing this game. But we managed to defend, leave space. Got to try and get back within a second now of Perez and Stroll here. Perez through on Stroll, which is good, but Stroll fights back. I want to note Fernando Alonso, I think, is a breakaway leader. He's actually dropped everyone and is leading by himself out front, which is the worst case scenario possible. We're in the points.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
And the good thing is Lance Stroll's only P8. I think we need Lance, or Aston Martin need Lance to be more near to the top 5 or top 3 even for that to happen, for them to get P5 in the constructors. But luckily Lance isn't quite delivering yet, and we do have DRS, which is key, so we can hopefully stick with these two here. And we're also catching the battle for P2, but this is all allowing Alonso to drive away and break a gap. If we're just smart with our race management here, we're going to be okay as we bounce off the limiter. Just got to try and be efficient with our racecraft. Again, we're still on the hard tyres, by the way, so this is a really key point to make in terms of how the race will develop. Alonso's still cooking away out front, but now seems to be getting caught by Norris, and I think it's one of the Mercs with him. It's George Russell with Norris in P2, P3. We tried to go up the inside of Checo, but we just don't have the grip through here. The track is so slippery. Well, that's okay. We're mixing up with these guys. Sainz trying to go through, but we should have the straight line speed to keep him behind. Sainz tries to slide one up the inside, but again we keep him at bay. Yellow flag behind. Crash at the chicane, that could be a safety car. Wait for it. Looks like it's cleared. It's actually, I think it's a Red Bull. There might be Max involved in that collision.
Safety car, no overtaking, reduce your pace. Keep your delta number positive as we form up.
Almost lost my wing there. Right, I think it's a bit too early for a pit stop, so this is good. It neutralises the race. Brings us back towards Alonso, who is still P1 in this race, so brilliant news for us and for the championship. So P1, P7 for Aston Martin. No position gain for Stroll, but a +2 for Alonso. Definitely not ideal, but we're in this fight, and that's what matters. Okay, interesting. So we do have some cars electing to pit, but crucially, none of the front 3. So that gives us P7. That does move Stroll to P6, but I don't mind that. I think we've got the right tyre, the right strategy. Let's see how this pans out. Now, just a quick update on the points at this stage of the race. Alonso being P1, Stroll P6, me P7. If we were to finish in these positions, Alonso 25 points, Stroll +8, which makes it 33. The gap is 32, but because I'm in P7, that gives us a +6. So right now we have a 5-point advantage if my math is correct. So it's still in our favour. Interestingly, one of the Mercs, I think that's Hamilton, in the pit, and Sainz follows as well. So some split strategies here, but crucially both Aston Martin stay out. So now with the updated points, it's 35 for Aston and 8 for us. A 27-point difference, with 32 being the gap. So right now Aston Martin needs 5 more points. Right then, here we go. Restart time. Let's see what happens on this one. Alonso will lead us away. Oh, wow. Everyone's going to pit. That's really interesting. Right, well. Trying to challenge Stroll into one there. Car all over the place. And just, you can see Stroll race away. Gonna have to use the battery here to try and stay close, but that's an interesting one. Half the field has pit, and to be fair, now most of the cars have actually pit during that safety car phase now, so that really makes this race quite interesting, and I'm guessing the remaining cars are probably going to pit now, to be fair. Leclerc all over the back of me right now, but we should be okay for this part of the track. Leclerc getting a run, but now we should pull back ahead with some better top end speed. We're going to get a nice little tow here from Stroll. Leclerc not done yet, trying to fight back and tuck in. Perez having a look. Braking super late because I know Perez is going to go for the dive if I brake early, and we get a warning in the process. And Stroll stays out. Interesting. Very interesting. I think Leclerc in, Perez stays out. I have no idea now what strategy people are on. I swear Perez was with us before, so he's actually pit and basically jumped everyone, so maybe staying out might have been a bad call, but that was also unlucky because we started on a hard tyre. Leclerc's right behind me, so he hasn't pit, by the way. That's my bad. I'm not realising I'm trying to focus at the minute as we're on the back foot. I'm convinced now Leclerc's on fresh mediums, Hulkenberg on fresh softs, and Leclerc and Perez on fresh hards probably. Trying to see if I can stick with Lance here and get some DRS. We're going to have to stretch the stint out to a few more laps before we can pit to make this strategy work. That was not a good exit. I'm going to let Charles go, and we'll try and stay in this DRS on the next lap. Although, I mean, we're pulling back ahead without even using battery. Says a lot about our wings. Look at that. I was willing to let him go, but we just pull back in front like it's nothing. And there goes Hulkenberg, tries to go for it. We have to avoid turning into the apex. We brush the wall.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Got lucky there. I could have been damaged quite easily. Hulkenberg flying on those soft tyres. Leclerc now pits.
In the pit window, and you're going to be on mediums.
So now Leclerc does come in. No grip whatsoever. Hulkenberg goes straight through on the softs. We'll get DRS, but Perez may well go through now. All these cars on what I think is fresh rubber. We'll keep Perez at bay for now. Very scruffy. Perez will go through and he'll have DRS. We'll just tuck in behind. We should still be pretty competitive without DRS, especially if we have just a natural tow. We lose a toe partly there. Russell gets it back, but look at this. We're actually pulling back without DRS. That's actually insane. We'll let these two go. Hulkenberg in his last race is about to take the race lead here, which is insane. Those soft tyres have been a pretty interesting call strategy-wise. It's going to be a constant action this race, all the way to the end. As Hulkenberg is going to take the race lead, I think, or is about to anyway. Just got to try and survive. We have to stretch the stint. We have to go long. I'm thinking maybe even go for softs at the end. So if I can get to like lap 18, I could make that happen. But you can see we really bleed and we're really hurting through.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
Yeah, we're really bleeding and hurting through turns 1 and 2. Taking a lot of pain through there. Ricciardo going for it. I'm leaving space. Tires are letting go. Ricciardo goes through. And Sainz back at it with a lunge. Oh, I'm starting to think we should have pit, but I wouldn't have made it on mediums. It's just unfortunate timing with the safety car. I don't think it suited us at all. I didn't think that many cars would pit either, which is also not helping the calls. Zhou trying to go through. We'll have to wave the white flag as we almost run into the wall there. Got some understeer, and Ocon now with the lunge. Zhou runs in deep. So much happening at one time, it's hard to keep track. Zhou will not have DRS, so we should go straight back through here. Mincemeat, easy work. Let's hope there's some battling in front and we can try and rejoin the battle. Zhou's going to go through here. I'm not going to fight. We have to try and be a bit more efficient with our racing. Also trying to save some battery. This is my scheduled pit stop lap, so at this point now, anything beyond this we are extending. The safety car obviously is going to help us a little bit. I'm pretty sure Alonso's thrown away the win with that late stop because of the safety car sequence. We're going to breeze past Zhou like he's not even there. He'll probably get us back though after turn 2. And now finally Stroll is pitting. Zhou thinks about it but then tucks back in. So Stroll sticking to the original strategy. I'm going to try and go for a set of softs, I think, and pit around lap 18. Use that safety car to try and stretch the stint out a little bit. We're doing okay. We'll just keep on taking the pain in this phase of the race. We'll get some soft tyres ready to go. Zhou looking to go. Ocon as well. 3 wide there briefly. Again, trying to keep this efficient so we can catch up with the cars ahead and not lose too much time. Oh, big bit of wall spin there. A wild Max Verstappen appears, who will most likely be able to re-overtake. Zhou, Ocon battling. Lawson in the mix behind us, which is good to see. Look at the speed we've got here. We're actually going to challenge Zhou at this rate as we bounce off the limiter. Zhou defends. Verstappen now switches to the outside. We have a big moment there, getting completely crossed up. Verstappen loses time because of it, and now might be under pressure from Lawson. Signs in the pits as well. Front lock up there, double front. Not ideal. Here goes Verstappen, no DRS. Easy move for Max, probably. Again, not going to fight too hard. We'll try and keep DRS at all times. Yellow flag. Who is it? I think it's behind. A safety car now would get us right back in the race. Let's see. Hamilton.
Okay, clear.
Hamilton out the race. That's a big one. Will there be a safety car though? I don't think so. We're not going to get that luck. Go away. Lawson makes a mistake behind. Not sure he's going to have DRS or not, but we'll stick with a soft tyre strategy then. A few more laps to go. Oh wow, is everyone going to pit? I have no idea what the strategies are anymore. I have no idea. I'm so confused. Are they all two-stopping it now? We're back to P3. Everyone's in. Absolutely everyone. This is such a strange race.
Liam is in the pit lane. Liam's in the pits now.
Oh, Alonso with a late lunge. Comes unstuck. He'll have the RS, but he's lost a chunk of time. I did leave a little bit of space, but I wasn't expecting it, so I had to turn out of it. At the last minute, Norris goes through. That could be decisive. Russell, Perez stay out, and Norris, Alonso as well. I think those who chose hards are going to go to the end. Those who went mediums are going to do a two-stop. So this is really interesting how this race is really open. Got another yellow. This one's ahead. This one's Russell or Perez. A safety car now would really bail us out.
Caution, caution.
It's Russell. Oh, I'm in very hot. I've got to lock the rears to not hit the wall. Mercedes double DNF as we let Norris and Alonso go at the same time. They both retire in the exact same spot, but we are not going to get that safety car. Not even a VSC. This is going to be tricky, guys. Alonso battling for a net P2. Crucially though, Perez I think has got this win wrapped up. Okay, draining the battery here. We're going to box this lap. Piastri's got DRS on me, so I'm making sure he doesn't disrupt my rhythm. We've got the softs ready to go. Now we need a quick stop. We're probably going to be last, to be fair, and then we're going to have to do it all over and try to fight back into this race and into the points. I don't think anyone else is going to stop again this race, so I think we're locked into the end. So this is it now. Right, I'm not very good at this pit entry, so we're going to be very cautious. And this is it. This could be the last stop of the entire season. Let's make it a good one, hopefully, with the new pit stop equipment upgrade. And fingers crossed we can get back on our way, get on our bike and push. Here we go. Great stop, 2.4. Could actually get ahead of Magnussen and Gasly here.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
And we do just that, so P18 for us. Right then, it's time to go. Do we have any pace? We're about to find out. Let's send it. 6 laps to go. Magnussen's got a run, he's got DRS. I'll cover the inside and send him wide. He commits, brakes pretty well, but we're going to keep him behind for now. And we break DRS in the process. There's going to be lots of battles ahead. The AR will lose a lot of time. Just got to hope the tyres hold on long enough. Right, here we are. We've arrived at the party. Lawson first on the list. We may well get a run here, even though we're quite far back. Hulkenberg I don't think has DRS, so he may be a sitting duck. Lawson through. Let's try and get in front. It's amazing how Hulkenberg actually led for a brief moment in this race, and now it's P17. Gonna brake a little bit earlier, save a bit of battery. Make sure we get the exit through here. Try and get the run down turn 1. We've got that good straight line speed, which is going to help us. Here we go. Now we're tucking in. Hulkenberg gets out of it, and we're going to breeze by. New fastest lap of the race. We'll take that. Lawson now shape through 1. We'll get him now on the run down to 3. DRS open. And this will slingshot us onto Logan Sargent. Lawson defends the inside. Easy move, no time lost whatsoever. Keeping myself behind Sargent on purpose here so that we get DRS on the strip. Here we go. That allows us to save a little bit of battery in the process. And Lawson may well actually get a chance to get Sargent here as well, so that's going to help him as well. Here we go. Straight through on the Williams, and Lawson's going to follow me with the slipstream. So P15, Bottas next up. Bottas actually is pretty quick. My pace isn't stellar, but we do have DRS, and we're catching the next battle of Tsunoda and Zhou, and Bottas is going to bring us there as well. As you can see, they're both too wide into the chicane. First silent tyres go in there with that little snap on the back end. Then there's quite a gap to the next battle, so P12 could be quite realistic here for us. Big scrap ahead, we should get DRS. Just about management at this stage, trying to be efficient. I'm trying to recharge as well, so if we do get some moves done or make a challenge, we can make it stick. Contact between Tsunoda and Bottas. We may well get a run here now because of that. Back end already snapping away on the softs, you saw through turn 2. Up the inside of Valtteri. 1 down, 2 to go. Okay, nice and tidy there. We're going to use some battery now. So get momentum rolling early. Now we've got the DRS, we can lock off the DRS consumption. We can just rely on the DRS, and we're going to get them both here. Easy, easy work. There we go, P12. Right then, is there anything else on the table for us? Albon, Leclerc next. To be fair, they've lost quite a bit of time on this lap, and Stroll is in front of them, so maybe, just maybe, if the tyres hold on, we can get a P9 here. Oh my god, all crossed up there, but I reckon I actually got DRS. Oh, I didn't.
Okay, just 2 laps of fuel remaining now.
Maybe not, lost too much momentum. Mid-corner with the drift, so the exit wasn't great, but we are going to have a chance here on the last lap to hopefully bag a couple of points and potentially finish ahead of Stroll, who's battling right now. You can see with Albon and Leclerc. Stroll seems to be very slow at this stage of the race, and Albon, you can see there, costing him time. So P9 may have to disappear with Leclerc driving away, but we may still get a point and get P10 and crucially take one away from Aston Martin. Onto the last lap we go. Let's see if I can maybe even get it early. Stay close through here. Albon's going to be very quick. Stroll will be very slow. Tyres are really not looking too good right now. And there we go. Albon gets squeezed to the inside at the last second. Stroll's going to fight it. We're going to set up the switchback. Side by side. Last lap. Oh, we get squeezed. And we get damage. I'm going to try and muscle through. If I can just stay close here, we might still get Albon with the straight line speed advantage. But we're going to have to lock in. This is massive. Come on, I need the wing to hold on through this next left-hander, which is where it's going to hurt us the most. Come on, turn. Yep, that's good enough for me. More than good enough for me. Orange on the damage, but we're going to be okay here. We're going to get DRS and we're going to hopefully steal a point. Perez is going to win. Alonso is going to get P2, but it's not going to be enough. I think we're home and dry. Keep it tidy now through the chicane with the damage. And there we have it. Job done. P5 in the Constructors' Championship. Massive prize money. With Maserati coming in next season, we can really build on this in Season 2.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
That's it then, they've taken the win here as we wrap up another fantastic Formula One season. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
There we go, job done, P10. Checo, to be fair, very impressive win. Strategy was on point for him. Alonso does bag P2, and to be fair, was looking good to win that race, but that safety car just messed up his strategy a little bit. Leclerc drops from 1st to 9th. Poor fumble from Ferrari today. But yeah, there's your top 10. Ricciardo P5 in the AlphaTauri, good performance for him as well. And we do nick a point and also get a +1 with the first lap of the race. So that's a little bonus in the finale. So the big one as well, Mercedes, a double DNF in the very last race. Lawson P16, to be fair, decent performance from him as well. Not too far off points. But we look at the standings then after 16 rounds and Season 1 in the bag. We do concede P8 in the standings to Oscar Piastri in the Drivers' Championship. As we know, Verstappen is of course the Drivers' Champion, and as we know, Red Bull are Constructors' Champions. We beat Aston Martin to P5 and finish actually 16 points ahead, so a healthy margin in the end, and that is going to mean big prize money for us guys heading into Season 2 along with Maserati's investment. We can hopefully look forward to things moving up a gear next year, guys. But overall, hopefully you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe as always. So close now to 100k. If you're new, please subscribe. And yeah, as always, a big shout out to the members of the channel for supporting the content. Check out the 2 videos on screen, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and that's goodbye from me.